Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
On every episode of Video Game Hangover, we talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, the 2026 Summer Backlog Attack continues with Donkey Kong 64 and Persona 5 Royal. Plus, I'm still playing 1000xRESIST.
Hey, man, you started on the Persona already?
I started Persona, yep. I figured I needed something new to bring to the show, so I'm still trying to finish 1000xRESIST while also starting Persona. It's a little bit of a whiplash situation.
Pretty tonally different games.
Very, yes.
Yeah. I forgot you had sort of doubled up on Portal and BioShock, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just trying to play some games, man.
Yeah. Isn't everybody?
Yep.
That's all we want. Just want to play some games.
That's all. That's really, yes. Yep. That's the best use of my time.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Welcome. Oh, thank you. Glad to be here. Once again.
I'm out of the habit of doing weekly shows. This is the first time we've done it in like 2 years, and I feel feeling the pressure, man. Got to play some games.
Yeah, well, I figured it was a good opportunity since we have kind of a slate picked out already.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't know what I would be doing.
Not a complaint, just an observation, but
yeah. It'd just be Slay the Spire chat every week, but still just playing a lot of that.
Yes. Are you still really? I've not
I am
played that in quite a while.
You take a brief detour to do some Slay the Spire chat? I don't know. Whenever I think of the Defect, I'm like, I don't like that guy. The Defect is the third character in Slay the Spire. But for some reason, I was going through the achievement list in the mobile version and seeing what achievements I'm missing. And there's one for if you just like pump up the Defect, if you give him enough focus, which is one of his special attributes, you get an achievement. I think it's you need like 24 or 25 focus, which is an absurd amount.
Holy
like
cow.
At that point, if you even approach 24 focus, you have like completed the game like way long ago. Like your deck is competent enough to you don't need to get anywhere near 24 focus. But I'm like, that would be fun. Because like when the Defect is doing well, he's like really, really doing well. So I was just thinking, man, 24 focus would be amazing.
But the circumstances where you are playing as the Defect and you feel like, man, I'm really playing well, are rare.
Yeah, well, this is why I don't like the Defect. Is like it's either like feast or famine with him. You've got like a ton of orbs, you've got a lot of focus and a bunch of weird powers, or you're just like, oh, I wish I could get a card, just any card that is good, give it to me. But,
which is not an uncommon Slay the Spire experience, depending on who you play as. So
I feel like it's like heightened with the Defect for whatever reason, just because he has his own set of weird abilities. Yes.
Yeah. He's definitely the character that requires the most learning, I think, to be able to like sort of figure out.
Yeah.
See, I mean, there's a reason the game starts you with the guy with the giant sword, because he's pretty easy to sort of figure out.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I typically don't like when in any game when they're introducing the characters, there's like, okay, here's sort of like your basic, here's like the Ryu. Everybody knows how to use this guy. And then here's another one who's like maybe a little faster or a little stronger, just like shifted in one of those directions. And then, here's the third character, or the third character is for people who like technical style of gameplay. And I'm just like, I don't want a technical style of gameplay. Just give me the big sword that the first guy had.
Right.
And the default, or the Defect is definitely that guy. So that's partially why I feel like I've never really gravitated toward him.
Not the big sword guy, but the technical guy, you mean?
The technical, I just don't care for him. Yeah. But I really want that 24 focus achievement, so I've just been like, well, and then here's the other thing: I'm not even especially like focused on trying to get it. No pun intended. But I've just been doing runs with the Defect over and over to see if it just happens sort of naturally. But I've been having an all right time with it.
Good. Wow. Yeah, no, I have not played Slay the Spire 1 in a very long time. I haven't played Slay the Spire 2 in quite a bit as well since earlier this year. So I had I just read recently that the developers were shifting away from doing kind of weekly updates to Slay the Spire 2 because they have a roadmap they're trying to stick to, and shipping updates every single week has been difficult. So
fair.
Yeah, they like Slay the Spire 1, they have yet another character, an additional character kind of in the pipeline, and so they're working on that as well.
Oh, did they talk about who that is?
I don't think they gave any specifics, just that was one of their kind of short-term projects. So
okay, I have to go look that up.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty resolute in that I'm just gonna wait until Slay the Spire 2 is done. It is like 1.0 out the door, and then I'll go back and go real hard on it. But just continuing to sort of play it in a state of flux is probably frustrating for me right now.
Yeah, I haven't spent as much time with it as I've probably spent exactly as much time with it as I expected, because the whole time I've been thinking, if it's not on mobile, then I probably just won't play it that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am kind of curious about how it's going to change and evolve while it's in early access, and there have already been kind of a lot of major changes that have happened. But now that I've sort of been able to witness that, I just go, oh, okay, well, I kind of understand how this is going to go, and yeah, maybe I will just wait for the full release in next year or 2 years from now, however long it takes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
maybe I don't have a lot of once in a while
experience with getting on board with early access games, so this was a rare treat, and mostly just because I was like, I have to play Slay the Spire. There's a new Slay the Spire, I must play it.
Yeah.
And now that I've sort of experienced it, I think I can safely say I'll wait. And to your point, Slay the Spire 1 still exists and is still complete, so I can always play that if I have the itch.
Yeah. And, I haven't even done everything in Slay the Spire 1, as it turns out. So there's still that to work towards.
Yeah, I don't know where I am with achievements. I'll have to roll back and take a look. Because does the Switch version have achievements? Because that's the version of it I've played the most. They must be in there somewhere.
I think so. I think it's just, it's not like, trophies or whatever. It's like an actual in-game menu. So I imagine all versions have it.
There's no way I've done that 24 focus thing. I can assure you of that. But there's no way I would have accidentally have stumbled upon that during a playthrough.
No. I think a lot of the achievements would be difficult to trigger accidentally. Like there's one, the one I talked about the last time was, I think it's like you have 3 cards between your hand and your draw pile, or your discard pile and your graveyard, or whatever it's called in this. And it's like, it's really hard to not have that few cards. So that's another one. Maybe I'll do that one after the focus achievement.
They what was my thought on Slay the Spire? Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, and I had a thing when I was like, when DJ's done talking, I should say this, and then it went away.
You really like orbs.
What I was going to say is that my best runs ever on Slay the Spire are typically in the dailies, when there's some weird convergence of elements that just makes failure kind of impossible, and you can just go super hard because there's you get the right artifacts or the right sort of wonky rule set that just makes it impossible to screw up or slightly more difficult to screw up. And those don't count towards achievements, to the best of my knowledge, either. So the games of Slay the Spire where I'm like, this is going really well, and I'm just storming everybody, and I'm having a really good time because of this bizarre collection of tools I have at my disposal, are almost never in vanilla games. It's always sort of the weird rules that come from dailies.
Yeah. I rarely play the daily, but there was a really good one.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but I was for quite a while. I was playing the daily every single day. It was my thing to do before I went to bed at night. So.
I feel like months ago, I don't know, whenever I got back into it, Slay the Spire, I was still taking too long with a single playthrough for me to do the daily in one day.
Oh, really?
So that kind of put me off doing it. But now I feel like I could probably probably do one. But what I was going to say, there was a great daily like a week or so ago, maybe. And then speaking of the defect, it was the defect. And no, if you haven't played Slay the Spire, you can just tune out for the next 45 seconds because this will not make any sense. But I always wanted, like, I want to make a claw deck, the card claw, where it's like costs nothing, and whenever you play it, it makes every other claw card in your deck more powerful. So I was like, yeah, if you just had a whole deck full of only claws, it would just compound like ridiculously. Like every single one you just play for free and they get more powerful. But it's not a great plan in an actual game because it's just very slow to build up. And you have to find all those claws to begin with. But then there was something about the daily that just made that very, very easy to do. So I finally got to experience like, oh yeah, this is just how I imagine this claw deck would be. It's great. And then as soon as the daily was over, I didn't have to worry about that anymore. So that was fun. That was like, as you were saying, sometimes the daily really like cracks open the game and lets you like break it in weird ways. So
yeah, I dig that.
A nice allowed me to finally build that claw deck.
Excellent. All right. Well, we haven't done a Slay the Spire moment in a while, so there we go.
Yeah, well, that was fun.
Nice.
Anyway, we'll back next week. We'll play. I don't know. There's not like I've played all the other characters. The defect was really the last one. Well, maybe I'll pick up Slay the Spire 2 again. Maybe we'll do some of that.
Yeah. See what's changed.
Yeah. Who are all these people?
Cool. All right. So we should update on the summer backlog attack progress here. We are in, what is this, sort of approaching the end of the third-ish week. So we have kind of one more week to go. The challenge continues. We would sort of like invite the community to participate in this with us. We've got some really good progress happening on our Discord right now. So if there's still time to join, if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're playing a bunch of old games this summer, definitely hop into the VGHangover Discord and go to the Backlog Attack channel and update us on your progress. We are offering the new video game of your choice for the biggest, how are we phrasing this? The most impressive feat of backloggery this summer.
Most impressive? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So that offer still stands, and there's still time to jump in on that. Yeah, we've got some really excellent progress. We have got a few notes here. Twisted Link 343 has finished almost kind of back-to-back Spider-Man 2 and BioShock 2. He finished a game that I could not tolerate finishing. So kudos to him for hanging in there for BioShock 2.
Oh, wait, you didn't finish it?
No, I didn't finish BioShock 2.
Oh, okay.
No. I said last week, I think that decided I had seen enough of it.
Oh, okay. It was a little ambiguous whether it was like you're going to drag yourself for the last few hours or if you just throw it in the towel. But that's fine.
I thought I would because I felt like I had played quite a bit of it. And I'm like, I've got to be near the end. And I kind of looked on the internet to see sort of like how many, not acts or whatever, but where am I in the progress of this game? And there was still quite a bit to go. And I'm like, no, I'm good. That's enough.
That's funny. Didn't people complain that BioShock 1 was like too short when it came out?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like that was around when I think Call of Duty 4 came out the same year. And it really feels like that was sort of the shift towards like, oh, this campaign is so short, but it's like, look at all these set pieces. And then if you go back and compare something like BioShock to, I don't know, System Shock or an earlier FPS campaign, those earlier ones probably just feel interminable. But anyway. For some reason I thought that BioShock 1 got some criticism for having a short campaign.
I'm not sure. I don't think that was my impression of it, but I have not played it in a very long time. So it's on that little collection I bought for the Switch if I ever wanted to go back to BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite's on there too. So yeah. I've got the whole modern day BioShock collection.
Bioshock Infinite campaign, not short enough.
I like Bioshock Infinite. I don't know that I remember it enough to defend it here with you, but I think I remember enjoying it more than you and Paul when we first talked about it back in the day. So
yeah,
which is typically how those things go.
Interesting observation.
Yeah, so kudos to Twisted Link 343 for hammering out Spider-Man 2 and Bioshock 2. You ever play a Spider-Man game, DJ? Spider-Man your thing?
I haven't played a Spider-Man since whatever game he was in on the PS1.
Oh.
He was, it was like, which game was he? He was like swinging from a web. That's probably all Spider-Man games, though.
I'm not sure which one he had the web in.
I can't remember. I remember him shooting a lot of webs.
What was the one where he had the shotgun?
Well, play that one. He just gives up and is like, you know what?
Yep.
Turns out guns are great.
I'm just shooting people now.
Yeah. Spider-Man 3, he just shoots people now.
Yeah, Mary Jane does not approve.
I don't know. Maybe Mary Jane gave him the shotgun.
Yeah. Uncle, I don't know what his uncle's name was. Uncle definitely does not approve.
No, yeah. Or maybe it was like, I don't know, with great caliber or whatever. I don't know how you
great
measure
power
a shotgun.
Great big giant guns.
Yeah.
Super Leaf 444 has completed Earthbound and is working on Cuphead. But the screenshot they shared was a game over, you died screenshot. So I'm not sure how Cuphead is going, but Earthbound is complete.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not a short game.
No, I've never played it. You and I were talking about it a bit before the show. My ability to sort of handle very old video games is difficult to navigate. So not sure where I stand on Earthbound. I'm intrigued by it, but
Earthbound's pretty special. It's one of those games where, like I'm aware how well like the older Final Fantasies and other games from that era have aged. And I feel like whenever I think about Earthbound, I just think, well, I really, I haven't played it in a long time. I really do hope it's aged well. So I feel like a lot of people are still able to play it. There's that meme about the world's #1 Earthbound fan is finally or excited to finally get a chance to play it when it came out on Virtual Console or whatever. But I feel like it has a lot going for it. It has a lot of personality. Like the setting's really unique, and I don't remember the gameplay feeling too archaic compared to if you went back and played like Dragon Quest 1 or whatever the latest Dragon Quest was at the time.
Cool. Yeah, the uniqueness of it is certainly the appealing. I see the screenshots and I've read reviews and obviously the sort of ravenous fandom for this and the other kind of other games are hard to ignore. But it's just difficult to go back to a game that's, what is that, early 90s, right?
Yeah, I feel like mid 90s, probably like 95 or so. I feel like you see a lot of screenshots of it and it has a very unique aesthetic. And then maybe you'll see some funny quotes people have screenshotted. But I don't think that the whole sense of humor fully comes across in the screenshots. It's just like from the enemies you fight to the dialogue and just conceptually some of the mechanics in the game are so sort of like quirky and strange. It's like no other game really comes close to it. Except like cool. Mother 3, but that's kind of to be expected.
It's I was gonna say it's weird, but maybe it's not weird because Nintendo's involved that this has not been mined for like remakes and updates and and most of the other RPGs of the time. I think of the old Final Fantasies and the old Dragon Quests have been updated and pumped out for modern consoles, but this remains locked behind ancient hardware or trapped in the Virtual Console.
Yeah, I just think it's not Nintendo's thing, really. Like, how often do they do a full-blown remake? I feel like that's still pretty rare for them.
Yeah.
Although
Ocarina, though,
it's
maybe
weird
someday.
saying that in 2026, where at this point they're just pumping out remake after remake. But it's taken them quite a while to get that started.
Or just re-releasing games from the previous console generation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that they even put it on Virtual Console. But that's very cool. I think it's, people are still clearly enjoying it. So
Discovering
it's good that they have access to it.
Cool. So, yeah. Plenty of time left to go. Probably 10 days or so if you want to jump into the summer backlog attack. Go to VGHangover.com for a link to our Discord and do the thing.
Yeah. We'll have another special bonus, was it side mission?
Yeah.
Probably drop that later in the episode. So stay tuned.
Excellent. So I'm continuing to work through 1000xRESIST. It is long. It's a long game.
It's not that long.
It feels long.
It's longer than BioShock 2.
BioShock 2 felt short in the beginning and got longer as I played it.
That's generally how they work.
Yes, yeah. No, it just got to a point though, like in BioShock 2, where like I got off an elevator and it was yet another level and yet more splicers and yet more of the things that I had been doing up to that point and all of the things that I had done in BioShock 1. And I'm like, I'm good. I think I got it. I understand. But I will give 1000xRESIST kudos because it has certainly picked up its intensity. The game does build to certainly a higher level of tension, where there are a number of kind of important things happening, some big story reveals, some surprising pivots in what is happening. Is it safe to say? Maybe it's safe to say. If you're sensitive to spoilers, I'm not going to try to spoil something definitively here, but
I was going to say, if you can say whatever you want to say, and if it's a spoiler, I'll just bleep it out.
Just delete it.
So yeah, I'll probably bleep that out.
Well, you're okay. All right. So I won't talk about it any further then, because I don't want to bleep out 40 minutes of my episode. But I was surprised when that happened. I was like,
yeah. No, it's good. I really throughout the whole game. One of the few consistent things that's very unpredictable, if that makes any sense. But
yeah.
I really appreciate that when, so many other stories or like movies feel very formulaic. It's like, okay, well, here's where the main character gets all their powers, and here's where they go on, they go around saving the city. But 1000xRESIST, it's like, I don't even know. I don't know what happened before. I don't know what's going to happen next. It's all up in the air. Yes.
Yeah. It is. Yes, it is steeped in mystery. Like the motivations of the characters are mysterious, like the history and the origin, and you do sort of start the game kind of like, what's the word, in media res, where like things are happening, and you are left from context, which is slowly doled out to try to figure out what is happening in this game. Yeah, and even when things do happen, it's not quite crystal clear. I'm hoping there's a bit of an explainer. I don't need the video game guy where it sort of like tells you what's going on. The Netflix thing where it's sort of like, oh, if you've been checking your phone for 40 minutes.
1000xRESIST ending explained.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I'm hoping, as I was last week, that this is going in a direction that is satisfying. So, yeah, continues to be beautiful, continues to be really well voiced. Super talented voice actors here. Yeah, doing a lot of big work. The voice actor, and I apologize for not knowing their name, but the person who is voicing the main character in this is doing some big work. He is literally in every scene, has nearly every line of dialogue. You never shift from their perspective, so they are the one who interacts with every other character in the game. So I can only imagine the scale of the script this person got on the first day of recording, but it's a monster, and they're doing some big work. So kudos to them.
I don't remember if this was the case. It's been a while since I played it, but is it the same actor doing like the majority of the characters? Because like they're all kind of clones of each other, but they also have slightly they kind of have distinct personalities.
Hmm. Oh, that has never occurred to me, but that would be interesting and would make their performance even more impressive.
You have to look that up.
Yeah.
Because like on one hand, it would make sense that they all were the same person, but
and have the same voice, yeah.
Yeah, but then like everybody is wearing masks, you can't see who is talking in one scene. So if they all had exactly the same voice, it'd probably be pretty difficult to follow.
Yeah, yeah. I think the game gets some kudos for sort of addressing that too, because it could easily be difficult to understand like which character is which in a lot of the scenes, but they do a lot of kind of color coding. And in fact, sort of like the color code of the characters is specific to their job and to their role on this sort of like post-apocalyptic society. So there is some explanation behind the color coding to help one, as a player, you kind of understand which character is which, but it's tied to their sort of participation in society. So it's interesting how they have addressed a game where every single character is identical to the other ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to give the impression that I don't like it. I just want it to be done.
You want to know what's happening.
I do. Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of mysteries in my head, and I've gotten some really good exposition recently and some very satisfying kind of moments. But I'm hungry for a finish here.
Yeah, I think it really picks up, especially towards the end, like the last few chapters, episodes, whatever. A lot gets explained, and yeah, I found the resolution to be pretty satisfying.
Good. The chapters do seem to go a little bit quicker as you progress as well. So.
Yeah, well, the earlier ones are just still like a lot of exposition and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I do continue to find the wayfinding, the mapping of this game annoying as hell.
Yeah, the map was not good.
I've done a lot of walking in circles and trying to sort of like the game does good work in helping you tell one character from another, but it does not do good work in telling one corner of the map from another. They all look very similar. So I will frequently think, oh, I know exactly where that is and go there, and it's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game would be much shorter if I didn't constantly walk in the wrong direction all the time. So yeah, bummer on them for that part, but everything else I like.
Yeah. They just announced that there's a Switch 2 version coming out this week, which I'm excited about because I played on Switch 1 and it wasn't super up to the task, the Switch 1 hardware.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
they said like, oh yeah, so they've improved the frame rate, they've improved what else? Oh, the resolution, I think. So I'm just imagining like, oh, okay, so now it'll look like all those very shiny, like Steam screenshots that I saw. So I'll probably go through this again at some point soon. Nice. On the Switch 2. Should be good.
I'm playing it on the Switch. No, what am I playing it on? I'm playing it on the Steam Deck. And it looks lovely. It continues to look lovely. Yeah.
I said this last week, but just like the art direction is so good that it kind of like shone through the Switch hardware limitations. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I was just like, okay, I can see how they were going for with this scene, but like I can see it in spite of just like the chunky pixels and everything moving very sluggishly. But I think it's a real testament to how they put together all the visuals, that it still worked despite being on dated hardware. So looking forward to that update.
I've taken more screenshots of 1000xRESIST on my Steam Deck than probably any other game I've ever played because it is lovely. And I'm like, oh, that should be my wallpaper. Oh, I'm going to keep that. So it's
I would have been doing the same thing, except, I wasn't thrilled at the thought of having like the big Switch 1 pixels on my desktop. But now, who knows? I can just fill up my whole hard drive.
It's going to blow the back of your head off playing this game. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's exciting. I didn't realize that was coming out. The developer has announced their follow-up too. I don't remember a ton of details about it, but that's exciting. They continue to update 1000xRESIST.
Yeah. I think they announced there will be a physical edition too, since those are hot right now. Everybody wants to have a disc or a card or whatever it's going to be on.
Cool. Do you want to talk about Donkey Kong?
Yeah. Well, when don't I want to talk about Donkey Kong? So I played Donkey Kong 64. This is the last game on my list. I fairly disappointed by it, but I think not in the way that most people are disappointed by video games. So here's the thing, like, since this game has come out, all I've heard about it is just how bad Donkey Kong 64 is. Like, is it like real bottom of the barrel for 3D platformers? Again,
no pun intended. Yep.
But just, why would you subject yourself to playing Donkey Kong 64 is the thing that just keeps coming up over and over again. So I was like, all right, here we go. Let's cap off the Backlog Attack. Let's just play a bad video game. It'll be great. It's been so long since I just wallowed in an awful video game. I try and avoid doing that.
Right.
But I don't know. I thought maybe we'd have a little Assassin's Creed 3 experience where it was just so bad that I was just like, oh, what kind of ridiculous bugs and glitches are we going to get into next? But so I played it for a little bit, and it's actually fine. So it's not just immediately repulsive in any way. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know how I expected the badness to manifest. I was sort of expecting oh, maybe there'll just be bananas everywhere and you have to pick up 1,000 bananas to get to the next level. And there's always just one slightly out of reach and you have to do all these painful platforming sequences to get to it. So I don't know. That's sort of what I was picturing. But it's not really like that.
No.
In fact, the biggest surprise to me is that it's just Banjo-Kazooie again. This is maybe the thing I take the most issue with. Okay, so developed by Rare, who made Banjo-Kazooie, and at some point Banjo-Tooie, and then they made Donkey Kong 64, and I was thinking probably though it'll just feel a little more like a Donkey Kong game. I don't know what that would be at this point. Maybe Donkey Kong Country. That's the precedent. But it really feels like it's just almost like a reskin of a Banjo-Kazooie game in the way that Donkey Kong moves around and the abilities he has are almost directly from Banjo-Kazooie. He's got the gun, so instead of shooting eggs or whatever, he's shooting coconuts. He's throwing, what is he, not pumpkins, or oranges. He's got, Diddy Kong has the little dash move. It's wait a minute. I just played this game a year ago. And, it's even more sort of, reinforced because it's got the same weird control scheme that Banjo-Kazooie had. For some reason they decided the Z trigger is a menu modifier, and that's how you access all your abilities. So I guess, if you're a huge fan of Banjo-Kazooie, you feel right at home jumping into Donkey Kong 64. But I thought I don't know, I was just expecting it to feel more like a Donkey Kong game rather than Donkey Kong characters making a cameo in a Banjo-Kazooie world.
What does that mean, though? But what is the standard for a Donkey Kong game? You said you wanted to play like a Donkey Kong game, and I don't. Maybe I've not played enough of them to know the answer to that in my head. But what does that mean to you?
I don't know. I guess, like I was saying, more like Donkey Kong Country, and I don't know what really defines those games because they're still doing the same kind of stuff. You're jumping on platforms and slapping the ground and collecting bananas. Although it feels weirdly you're not collecting a lot of bananas in this game. Not nearly as many as you did in Donkey Kong Country.
Doesn't this get a lot of hate for being kind of the massive collectathon?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the other thing. So while I'm still unable to define what makes a Donkey Kong game, this one, like, I mean, it's just like Banjo-Kazooie. You're just collecting things constantly, and I can, like, it doesn't feel that far removed from Banjo-Kazooie, so I don't know why, or I have suspicions why you would complain about this being a collectathon compared to something like Banjo-Kazooie, but it's not that different. In fact, it feels very much like, okay, in Banjo-Kazooie, you're collecting like 6 different sets of items, right? You had the little rings, and then there are the puzzle pieces, and there are those weird little like Pikmin guys. And then they each sort of had their different purpose. Like you take them to different NPCs, or they would unlock doors or something. You know, it's just like had a hard time keeping track of stuff. And it's the same in this. You've got the bananas. You've got coins. There are, what else? There are like blueprints that the enemies drop. There's the big golden bananas, which are, I guess, the puzzle piece equivalents, because that's what you use to unlock new areas. But it's a lot. And I definitely found myself a little confused. Like, okay, so what should I really, like, what should make my eyes bug out when I see it on the screen? Is it the coins? Like, do I really want the coins? Is it the bananas? And it feels like each one just has their own weird purpose. But again, not too far out of line from what I played of Banjo-Kazooie.
Right.
Where I think it becomes an issue is, so in Donkey Kong 64, you have 5 playable characters. 5 members of the DK crew, and they each have their own sort of like subset of these collectibles. So you'll be running around as Donkey Kong and collecting the yellow bananas, but then you'll see like a red banana, and it's sort of translucent because you can't pick it up, because only Diddy Kong can pick up the red bananas. And
oh my god!
Similarly, all the other like red color coded items.
So you have to come back here with a different character to pick up that. Gotcha.
You have to go to the switch barrel and switch to Diddy Kong. And same thing eventually, like you run into all these switches that only specific characters can activate. And at that point, I'm like, okay, so maybe this is what everybody was complaining about. Because you more or less have to play through each level 5 times, because you get to go through it with each character. And I've seen people, I was looking up old reviews for this game, like back from around when it came out in 1999, because I wanted to just like educate myself. Like, okay, so what were people actually complaining about this game? And there are some people who have said, if you play sort of like very methodically, you could just go through the whole level once with one character, collect everything, and then like switch to the next character. As opposed to how I was doing it, whereas I would see a red pickup and immediately be like, oh, I gotta go get Diddy Kong. I'll be right back. So maybe you save yourself some swapping that way. But it's
you can't swap characters on the fly. You have to go to a specific place in the map to swap them.
Yes, there will be a little barrel with all the characters' faces on it, which are generally not too far out of the way. But it's so frustrating to just be like trying to play the game and have collectibles in your face and just be like, oh, come back as this other guy. And also remember that this is here and this is where you need to bring the other guy, because it's, it doesn't really keep track of that on the map. So you really have to have like everything stored in your head, of where you need to take these characters and which character you need to be to activate this one specific switch to get further the level. And then maybe it feels like at that point, like you'd have to activate the switch, and then there's probably some bananas that a different character has to pick up beyond whatever you unlocked with the switch. So I don't know. I feel like if you're just going through this the first time, you're going to be doing so much character swapping and backtracking that it would just make me insane. So I feel like that's probably where a lot of the complaints were about it being a collectathon. But like, going back to Banjo-Kazooie, or just the similarities, I didn't have a terrible time playing Banjo. Like, it was fine. It's a little controls are a little clunky, being an N64 game, and I feel like people were just like not as skilled at making platformers back then, especially in 3D.
That's surprising to say about Rare, but
well, that's another thing, because I had that thought several times where I was like sliding off a platform in a weird way, or I try and turn around, but he would actually like jump off a ledge or something like that, or the camera. It was like you're constantly fighting the camera in this. Like the camera is not very good. I should point that out. But I feel like the camera in a lot of 3D games was not good at the time. But yeah, I was like, okay, so Rare, like all you do is make 3D platformers. Like you should know how to do this better. And in fact, it still has the same like I feel like sort of critical flaw that Banjo-Kazooie had, which is the draw distance is so short. You often cannot see collectibles or even like stage objectives from I don't know, like 40 or 50 feet away.
Oh wow.
In fact, it felt even worse in this, because not only can you not see if there's a banana on top of the palm tree across the level, but there were cases where you could see like cave entrances or just doors from across the level, and you go, oh, I haven't been in that cave yet, I should go check that out. And when you walk up to it, there's like a grating over it that wasn't drawing in when you looked at it before, or you can't tell that there's a switch above a door. So as soon as I got the ability to flip these switches, I started looking around for all these switches, and I would just see a passage across the level and go, okay, well, there's no switch there, so I'm going to go investigate in another direction. But lo and behold, I went past the same door later on. I just got closer to it. And then now it decides to draw the switch in. So I feel like there's like a lot of technical issues that really work against it being playable as like a 3D platformer.
Right.
And I'm surprised they I don't remember having the issue with like Mario 64. I feel like maybe they were just smarter about I don't know how to control what objects take like priority in like rendering from long distances. But I was really surprised like where you guys should know how to do this. Come on, guys.
If anyone. How are you playing this? Are you playing this on old hardware?
No, I'm playing it on the Switch app. I'm playing with the N64 controller, but otherwise it's more or less the same experience, I would think.
But you're not playing it on an N64.
No.
Yeah.
It feels like a pretty authentic experience, though.
Yeah. Well, based on what you're describing, yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised. So, even this game, it came bundled with that RAM expansion, the little red expansion pack. And so I thought, okay, so maybe we'll get some crazy graphical boost out of this, because you couldn't even play it if you didn't have it.
Oh, that little thing that plugged into the top of the N64.
Yeah. But no, it's like I couldn't really even tell what it was doing. Like there were some areas where I think maybe there were some fancy lighting effects or something like that, but I would have hoped that they'd fix the rendering issues where you can actually see things that you're trying to collect. But no, it just seems like kind of a wash. So I don't know. I wasn't having a terrible time with the platforming once I sort of acclimated to the controls. But if I'm gonna play a game like this, where you're expected to explore around and collect stuff in the environment, I want to be able to see where I'm supposed to go. So I don't know. I don't know if I definitely did not finish it. I don't know if I'll be spending a lot more time with it, because it functionally it just doesn't work well as a platformer, because you can't see anything in the environment.
Wow, that's crazy.
Can't see anything as an exaggeration, but it definitely feels that way, where the map looks dramatically different depending on where you're standing in it because of the objects it's drawing it.
Sorry, I looked up what is controversial about Donkey Kong 64, and it says that there are 3,800 total items to pick up in the game.
That seems like a lot.
It is a lot.
3,800?
Yeah. The game features over 3,800 total items to pick up, including color-coded bananas, exclusive to each of the 5 playable Kongs, which you talked about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just said that.
Yeah.
But thanks, Google AI, for confirming.
Yep. Gemini agrees.
Yeah. So it's funny. I went back and read the old GameSpot review, and it didn't sound like, they weren't trashing it, but they did talk of a lot of they did spend a lot of the review talking about various shortcomings. But then they gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm like, that didn't sound like you were reviewing a 9 out of 10 game the whole time I was reading the review. They did have this really interesting blurb, which they said, no 3D game has yet to offer a perfect camera. And I would absolutely agree that is the case with Donkey Kong 64. And, like I was saying, a lot of the other games in the era. But I thought it was funny because, I feel like at this point they got cameras down. Like most games with a 3D camera, it just works 99% of the time.
Yeah. I don't remember complaining about a game's camera in a very long time.
Yeah. So, progress.
So does this benefit from the N64 controller at all? Are you controlling the camera with a thumbstick?
No, you use the thumbstick to move around, and then the camera's on the C buttons, which,
gotcha.
They just didn't know any better at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious. I think I said the same thing about Banjo-Kazooie. I would be curious to play this on an updated engine, which, everything renders correctly and with a real camera stick. I think it'd be pretty fun. I think they remade Banjo-Kazooie at some point. So I was like, maybe I'll play that at some point. They have not gone back and remastered Donkey Kong 64 though, so
yeah,
that's probably not in my future.
A lot of these old Rare games ended up in that Rare replay collection and got kind of cleaned up or functionally improved. But I don't know that they had access to Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is the last thing of my notes. So after that GameSpot review, 9 out of 10, one of the links underneath the article was from when this came out on Virtual Console. So same website, just 20 years later. And the headline was, if you hate yourself, you can now play Donkey Kong 64 on Switch. So it's like, all right. How
doesn't sound like a 9 to me.
Over the last 20 years of scrutiny.
Yeah.
But anyway, Donkey Kong 64, it's out there, and yeah, if you hate yourself, you can play it. I feel like you don't need to hate yourself because it's not awful, but there is a lot of jank you have to wade through.
It sounds like very much a product of its time, though, from how it works to what you're doing. All sound like very sort of antiquated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of Banjo-Kazooie or other Rare 3D platformers, I think why wouldn't you play this? You'd probably enjoy it. we just didn't know any better at the time. It's like, oh, you can't show me that coin from across the map. Well, maybe someday there will be a video game console powerful enough to do that. But until then, this is what we got.
I'm sorry, I'm clicking through this. There's a link here to an article on negativeworld.org, which is not a website I've ever heard of, but it apparently is a retro Nintendo blog. And this is the top 10 problems with Donkey Kong 64.
Okay.
I'll let you weigh in on these. Number 10, swimming controls.
Yeah, not good. The same swimming controls as Banjo, I believe.
Atmosphere or lack thereof.
Oh, it's fine.
Number 8, itty bitty Kongs.
We're just gonna do all 10. I don't know what the itty bitty Kongs are.
Number 7, bad camera. There we go. Number 6, bad draw distance, which you've weighed in on.
Yeah. That should be all the way at the top. That is actually hampering being able to play the game.
Number 5, combat options, but very little combat.
It's true. I don't know if that's like a negative.
Number 4, lock and key
Wait, what
moves.
was number 7? There was something I was going to say.
Number 7, bad camera.
The camera. No, number 8 then.
Itty bitty Kongs.
Itty bitty, yeah. I don't know what that is. I think it was like, I don't know, just it controlled like a game from that era. So I think like playing it without, the foreknowledge that, oh yeah, 3D games are going to be way better in a few years. Just give it some time. Like, it was probably fine. I bet if you went back and played Ocarina of Time on the N64, you'd just be like, what is going on? Like, he can't walk in a straight line. What's the deal?
Yeah. What else? Slow movement, iffy level design, blah, blah, blah. They go on to say the things that they did like about it. Teleporting, multiplayer.
Teleporting, definitely an improvement.
Boss fights are fun, it says. Music is good.
The boss fight was all right. Pretty typical sort of Nintendo boss fight. It was good.
They think the 101% ending is hilarious and awesome.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
No, I didn't get that far. But it's hilarious and awesome if you want to go back to it. So,
all right.
negativeworld.org. Thanks for letting us steal your content.
Yeah, you can get 101%, which I thought was funny because what was it, Donkey Kong Country 2? Somebody got 102, so that's just their thing.
Yeah, at least add a percent for every
little rare staple.
Cool. I clearly didn't play this. I'm very little experience with Donkey Kong games, so
yeah,
I don't think I need to go back to this one.
I just feel like, well, they tricked me into playing a Banjo-Kazooie game again. I want a 3D Donkey Kong game. I mean, I don't necessarily want that, but that was what I was hoping to get.
Have you played the other Banjo-Kazooie games or just that first one?
I played the first one. I heard the second one was not as good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking like if I spent any more time with Banjo-Kazooie, it would probably be that like the remake or the remaster or whatever they did to the first one, just to see if it works any better. Because there was a fun game in there. It was just kind of a struggle with the controls and not being able to see everything.
Yeah, just everything's super grainy.
So, I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, I feel sort of vindicated the whole time. I'm just like, yeah, I don't like 3D platformers. And, well, because maybe all the ones coming out when they were really hot were not great.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I still need to, one of these years I'll play Ratchet and Clank or something like that.
Yeah, I can give you a list. If you want to see sort of the genre at its best, I could recommend some Jak and Daxters and some Ratchet and Clanks for you.
Oh, what's the best 3D platformer?
I mean, Mario Odyssey, probably. But
Mario Odyssey, okay.
Retro, what is the best retro 3D platformer?
Retro are we going with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think pound per pound, like entry per entry, the Ratchet and Clank series is peak. Like there really is not another developer that gets it as consistently as they do.
What's the best Ratchet and Clank? The latest one?
No. What's the best Ratchet and Clank? What's the one that's like the Crack in Time? Is it called a Crack in Time?
Crack in Time? Yeah, that sounds about right.
That one.
The PS2 ones?
No, that was a PS3 one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, better go grab it before they shut down the PS3 store.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I don't have all the information in front of me. I'll come back next week prepared to discuss this further.
Okay. Top 50 Ratchet and Clank games.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for playing Donkey Kong 64 so the rest of us don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of what I wanted to get out of it. I just wanted to experience what the deal was, and now I kind of know what the deal was.
It is an important piece of gaming history to be experienced.
Well, I don't know if it's important.
A notable
certainly
piece.
Certainly is a piece.
I could briefly talk about Persona 5 Royal. I said I was sort of bouncing back and forth between 1000xRESIST and trying to start Persona for the week. it's been a while since I've played Persona 5, and I've never played the Royal version of it. So this is some of this experience is new to me. I did have to sort of stop at some point and go, is this new? Is this all new? Mm-hmm. Because there were things that were happening in the very early hours of Persona 5 that I had no recollection of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I recall the main character getting interrogated by the police, and the game is sort of told in kind of like in reflection and in hindsight. Okay. You're being kind of accused of a crime and you're being interrogated. And I remember that, but I don't remember like an actual like in motion like pre-credits sequence of you like escaping the police and stuff like that. I'm like, is this new? And the internet says it's not new, but there is a character introduction that happens during the course of that is new. So they didn't just add like a prequel or a pre-credit scene to this, but added a character interaction in that doesn't exist in the previous version of the game. So yeah, I did have to go look like what is the difference between Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. And there's two characters, one of whom I've alluded to, that are in the Royal version that are not in the vanilla version of Persona 5. And there is a whole other like semester of school that you can attend.
Bad news.
I know. My favorite part of any Persona game.
Wait, why don't they just add another semester? Because aren't they usually just 1 year?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. There's another semester apparently in this.
Wow.
I've certainly not gotten that far. The internet says that the bulk of what is new is kind of backloaded, is late in the game.
Okay, that's what I sort of expect. I think that's what they did with Persona 3. There was like there was an extension after you complete the game.
Yeah. Well, like Persona 3 had a whole other playable character you could pick from the beginning, right?
Wasn't that the case with this one as well?
No, you only have Joker as the one character.
Oh, but okay, so it's not like a female main character, which is what they did in Persona 3.
Correct. No, this is a mysterious character that you kind of meet during that initial heist sequence, who apparently comes back later, and either helps or hinders you in some way. But no, this is not a playable character. It's just it's another part of your team, I think.
Interesting. Okay, I thought they were just doing the Persona 3 portable or whatever,
gotcha.
Doing that thing again. Interesting.
So yeah, it's again interesting to sort of go back to the beginning of this thing for me, because I had not remembered a lot of these details, in that your character gets dumped with a family friend because you've been accused of a crime. And the crime is defending a woman from being assaulted.
Mm.
And I'm like,
that's a crime?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, everybody treats you like shit because of it. like you have trouble getting into school, and the headmaster is going to keep an eye on you, and the family friend who is watching you is only doing it because your parents paid him to do so. Like you're such a disgrace that you can't be in your family home. You have to be staying with a family friend in the big city, and get shipped off to a different school. So like the explanation for why you're not allowed to live with your family and you have to go live in a city with mysterious strangers is real shaky.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of tracks with what I know about just the writing of throughout the whole Persona series.
Yeah. So this is my sort of, I guess, awakening this early into the Persona 5 experience again, is that this is a pretty like, pretty dicey, a pretty fragile house of cards to build your game on. Yeah, unless there's more to it later that I'm not remembering, but in from my perspective, at least in the way that the sort of the flashbacks to that event are played out, like you're kind of the hero. But apparently the person was somebody of means, and they've sued you and sued your family or something for.
Wait, the person you rescued?
No, the person who was assaulting the woman.
Oh, ooh, well, this is kind of icky.
It's not great. Yeah, it's a little problematic. And it's the whole like impetus for the start of the game and why you're not home and why you're first time in the city and you have to navigate blah blah blah, and like you're making new friends and you're new kid at school, and all of the reasons for that are this shaky thing from your past. And I'm like, they could have cooked up something better, I think.
And it's not like it doesn't. The latter half of the game is not about like getting like justice against this person who is accused you of all this.
I will not.
Is that a spoiler? Okay, no,
I'm not going to talk about that here on the show. Yeah, yes, yeah. So I mean, your character and you and your friends ultimately are very justice inclined. It is a bit of a superhero game, and that you are trying to sort of like stop kind of crappy people from doing crappy things and taking advantage of poor people. So I think there is some sort of motivation that is meant to sort of come from this. It just feels clumsy, clumsier than I remember. But I have 7 years of hindsight to go. I'm a smarter and better gamer than I was in 2019. Yeah. So
2019.
Yeah. 2019.
I feel like a lot of sort of the let's say like shortcomings of the Persona creative team have come to light since then. I don't know if it was as widely publicized before Persona 5. Or maybe just because like I feel like Persona really blew up with Persona 5, so maybe there's just been more of a spotlight on it since then.
Yeah, yes.
But I had not really heard anything about this. Like maybe a problematic character or two in the previous games, but not so much like, oh, it's just, yeah, this is an issue with just the head writer or director or something just throughout the entire series. Feels like a sort of a post Persona 5 revelation, at least to me.
We're referring to sort of Persona's history of not sort of handling female and or gay characters really well.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I not encountered much of that in the early hours of Persona 5 Royal, but I have a very distinct memory of that happening later in Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little icky. I mean, what I will say is that kind of initially, the things that made this game exciting in 2019, from the kind of the animation and the very bold kind of like design choices, the way the menus are kind of constructed, sort of radiating out from the character, are all kind of here from the beginning. And still, I think Persona 5, that look has gone on to influence a number of other video games that have come since. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of kind of Expedition 33 and
that's the first thing I thought of.
Metaphor and Reef Fantasio and probably 100 other games that I can't think of right this second. But man, this feels like the OG. It feels like this is kind of where it was born, and all of it is sort of like very kind of like fully realized in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Awesome soundtrack, beautiful music. It's one of the few games that I just sort of let the idle screen go because the soundtrack's fantastic. One of the 5 things they did clean up in Royal is they did update kind of character art and some of the animations and stuff like that in the beginning. The Royal version operates in 60 frames per second, whereas the previous on the PS3, I think I played it, only ran in 30. It's not a thing that I'm necessarily cognizant of 6 years later. Mm-hmm. But it looks lovely. It's super fluid. That's, the nuts and bolts of what made Persona 5 notable in 2019. Still, it makes it notable, I think. So, yeah.
Wait, it was a PS3 game in 2019?
2017? Was it 2017? Is this game 11 years old and not 9?
I feel like it was a PS3 game, right? Or was it PS4? That would like PS4 would have been out for a few years at that point. I don't remember.
Maybe I think the story maybe is that it was developed for PS3 but then released on PS4.
Yeah, was it maybe like a cross-generation thing?
Yeah. It is 2017. Yeah. This game's older than I thought.
It was certainly announced before the PS4 came out.
In 2004.
It's interesting because I feel like the PS4 generation, or up until then, games were still just kind of like struggling against the hardware. A lot of it was just trying to get the 3D right, and there wasn't as much thought put into stuff like the user interface or things like that. But like as soon as the PS4 came out, you started to see just, everything, the UI just ran much more smoothly in most games, and you started to see stuff like Persona 5 where people were doing really creative stuff with it. Like, oh, you don't just have to have a game interface that's a column of menus or something like that. But I do think like Persona 5 has a lot to or sort of inspired a lot of other games to do something more with the user interface.
Oh, totally.
And then they finally could, just because the hardware was at that point. So thinking about it running on PS3, it's like, oh man, it's probably going to be like, 1000 times resist on the Switch, just kind of like chugging along. It's great that they're just able to like update it, like everything's 60 frames per second, like redo some of the older art, like you were saying. It sounds great.
There is a lot of, and I'm seeing this as I've been kind of Googling, like, what are the differences between vanilla and royal? And one of the questions I'm getting from Google here is, would you like to know which specific confidants you need to max out in the early game to unlock the new story semester later in royal?
Oh, well, I better do that.
Yeah, so apparently some of this could be missable or skippable or something. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to invest the time in this again, I want to make sure I see the new stuff.
That's crazy that, like, first of all, in an 80-hour game, that you could just get locked out of some major component of the end game. Right. But also in the expanded edition, they still just don't guarantee it. Because like the new semester you said is brand new for this edition. But you still have to fulfill all these secret conditions. Well, I don't know how secret they are in the game, but the fact that they could be missed at all is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll add one other thing that I've noticed, and this probably won't resonate with anybody except people who have played Persona 5, is that there is a character in the game who is a doctor who kind of lives on your block. And she is, of course, a sexy doctor.
Right.
And you go to her later because she gives you like experimental drugs, super problematic, that allows you to do, I forget what it does for you, but it's like power-ups. They're like tonics and stuff that you can bring into battles with you. Okay. But she's present on day one, but you don't realize it. Like as your character gets sort of dropped off on the city block where your family friend owns a coffee shop, and you're going to go live in his attic for the rest of the game. As you're walking to like a police officer to ask him directions to the coffee shop, she walks by in the background and turns the corner and walks down to her shop. If you had not played the game previously or knew the characters, you would not know that. So now I'm searching like the behind the scenes, the background of every busy scene in this game. I spent a lot of time in like subway stations and in coffee shops and restaurants and casinos and things like that. And the game is filled with background characters.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how many more of them are telegraphed in that way. How many sort of characters you meet later or become important later are just sort of walking around in the background or something. So this is the only one I found thus far. There may be others, or there may be no more. But I just thought like, hey, isn't that the character? So like I kind of like, as soon as I finished the dialogue, I kind of followed her around the corner and she walks into the medical clinic. And I was like, oh. Nice. Like you have no interaction with her. There's no context for her being there other than that's the block she lives on and her shop is on. But she does become super important to the story later on. So I'm curious how much more of that is here in the game, which I kind of like.
And that's not necessarily something that was added for this edition. It's just something you notice because it's your second time through.
Right, exactly. It may have been present in the first one, and I just didn't know who that character was yet.
Yeah.
Or it may have been added for the second one. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was surprising to me that she was there. And I was like, hey, isn't that? And yep, totally was.
That's cool. I like when stuff like that happens.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole like a Sixth Sense kind of thing, like where you watch it a second time and you see things you didn't realize. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of, I wonder if she's been dead the whole time.
I forget what I played recently where that happened. And I was like, oh,
really?
Yeah. Just they're putting in late game characters right at the start. Like you see them, just they don't call it out or anything. It's just for people who have who are like making their way through a second time. It's a really cool addition.
Yeah, nice. So I did get very sort of ambitious with my Backlog Attack this year. I did have 5 games tier 4, and this one is crazy long. So I will talk further about Persona 5 next week. I'm going to extend my backlog a little bit.
Oh, man.
Are you going to drop in another game, or are you going to go back and revisit something you've already played? What is your plan?
No, I don't know what to do. I do want to go through because I didn't finish any of the games on my list. I just kind of played them for a while and was like, nah, that's enough. I actually do want to, like, I'll probably get through Wizardry at some point. I do want to do that full run of Tower of Druaga to see how that goes. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just start playing Persona 5. I don't know.
Are you planning to stream anything this week? Do you want to announce that?
Probably not this week.
Okay.
But you're going to be out for a little bit, so I'll probably do some streams in that time.
Cool.
Something I was going to say about Persona. What was it? Oh, the Persona 3 was a subtitle. They did a remake several years ago.
Reloaded or something? Yes,
yeah, Reloaded. That was sort of like borrowed a bunch of the stylistic cues from Persona 5, like the menus and everything. Everything just feels much more dramatic. And there's no way I would play Persona 3 again because one is so long, and also I just played it like a few months before the remake came out. Mm-hmm. But just seeing some of the footage, like the menus look so much better. The battles look very dramatic and exciting. And of course everything's like very shiny, HD compared to the PS2 version. But it's like I like the little kind of squatty PS2 characters still. Like in the remake, they look like I don't know if I would say they look like adults, but they're more realistically proportioned.
Yeah, they look like Persona 5 characters.
Yeah, they just look like tall anime characters as opposed to little like PS2 bobblehead. I'm like, oh man, kind of want there to be a like a big head mode or something you can turn on and just zaps everybody back to their PS2 incarnations. So that was another thing that was like, okay, well maybe here's another reason you should not get into the Persona 3 remake, other than it being 100 hours long.
Yeah.
But playing through the PS2 version, I definitely was missing like, oh, okay, so this was before they really like went for it with the UI, because at that point it was just a bunch of blue boxes in a list. It's like, oh well, it's nowhere near as flashy as the series ends up eventually.
Oh yeah. I played Persona 3 on my PSP. And it is very much a portable game. It's a lot of like menu surfing. Like in Persona 5, you like get out of the taxi or get off the train and you walk around the city and you walk through doors and you walk into shops and stuff like that. And all of that in Persona 3 happens kind of like in menus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also a difference with the portable version, because you were actually walking around in 3D on the PS2, but then I guess just because it was on the PSP, they turned everything into menus for that.
Oh, really? That was never clear to me. That's interesting.
Yeah, which is kind of like, okay, like I can see how that might actually be an improvement. If I certainly, like, there were times when I was like, oh, I really have to walk across the strip mall for the 1000th time this month or whatever. But you do lose a little bit of the atmosphere. Like, they should let you walk around if you really want to. I don't know if that was an option.
Yeah. No, I don't believe it was. Cool. All right. We should talk about side missions.
Side mission time. Yeah. All right. You listen to the whole episode, so now you can have the side mission.
We've, for anybody participating in our summer backlog attack, we've offered a few little side missions for some extra credit up to this point. Side mission number 1 was to share a screenshot of a game that you're working through. Side mission number 2 was to do a little journal entry for a dream sequel. You don't have to write a script or anything like that, or act it out in a 2-minute video, but just a little like a note about what if one of your games got a sequel, what would it be?
Yeah.
And DJ, would you like to explain side mission number 3?
Oh, I sure would, because this is my favorite. Not just because I came up with it.
Right.
I just want to see you post a So I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted to see you share a drawing of one of the characters, or like whatever, just some important scene from one of the games you're playing, and just put it on a Post-it note. That's my favorite type of sketch. So post your Post-it notes of whatever you're playing.
Nice.
I say that just because I don't want to make people, I don't want to risk somebody being like, oh, I gotta draw something. I gotta do like an oil painting of one of the characters from this game. Just make it simple.
Yeah, low effort side missions.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. You'll be participating, I hope.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do so many just like stupid Donkey Kong characters.
Nice. I do love a original DJ Ross piece of art.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, man, I've not drawn anything in a very long time. I'm not a drawer.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep it low pressure with these Post-it note sketches. So
so go nuts. To stick figure version of a Big Daddy.
Yeah. Ooh, just get the big drill on there. That's all you need.
It's just a drill and a helmet. The rest
yeah.
kind of you can figure out. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, excellent. I'm excited.
Yeah.
If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Blue Sky at VGHangover.com. And you can always get show notes and links and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com as well. We would love for you to join us on the aforementioned Discord. You can get a link to that at VGHangover.com. And we would encourage you, as always, to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or anywhere else you can find a podcast. And maybe help us out by telling your friends about the show, too.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Helps us bring in new listeners so we can see all their lovely Post-it sketches. Speaking of Post-it note sketches, something like that, we want to give thanks again to Ray 8-Bit for our intro and outro music this week. If you'd like to hear more of his work, you can go to ray8bit.bandcamp.com and grab all of those albums. That would be great.
Nice. We'll be back next week, as promised. Until then, this is Randy Dickinson.
This is DJ Ross.
Thanks for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
See you.